Good morning on my first 0 day. I'm in Julian in the Julian Hotel, and I heard there's breakfast going to be served, so I don't know what time, I don't remember, but I'm going to mosey on over to the main area, see if they're serving it. And I want to take more pictures of the interior of this hotel. It's really cool. If you read that plaque in the last video, they built it in the late 1800s. No, yeah, the really late 1800s. I guess it was somebody who, well, I'll let you read the plaque because I'll mix up the story. But it's old and it's been continuously operating. It's neat. I just opened my door. It's super foggy and it's actually raining outside, sprinkling. I wonder if it's doing the same thing down towards the trailhead. Wow. Oh darn, I'm in my puffy. Okay, I'm gonna have to go change that. Let me get into my rain wind jacket. I guess I have to wait. I went out there and there's no action in the parlor at all. I guess breakfast is later? I don't know. My key didn't work. I had a key that's supposed to let me in there, but it's not working on that side door. Oh well. I look inside, there's nothing going on. So I'll wait. And hopefully it's soon because I'm starving already. If not, I'll go find something in town. I don't think anything's open yet though. All right. Good morning and welcome to my first Q&A on a 0 day on the trail of the PCT. I solicited for questions on my Geeky Girl Hiker page on Facebook and got a lot of questions, so let's get to it. I'll answer them to the best of my ability. I have terrible penmanship, and it's even worse now, so forgive me if I struggle to read my own writing. I wrote them all down. Right, question number 1 comes from Connie Jones. She asked, how long did it take to train, and how did you approach your employer for time off? Well, you can start training right now for a hike 5 years out. It's just, what do you do? What works for you when you train? For me, I got serious 2 years out and started trying to go on more hikes. When I would buy gear, I'd go on shakedowns and test them out, make sure it was going to work for me. I'd say the last 6 months before I started the hike is when I got out there and just hiked and hiked and hiked. I was limited because I do work a full-time job to just the weekends and the occasional longer holidays, but you do what you can. A lot of people will go to the gym and then hike like crazy. I couldn't do all that. And I noticed a difference. This is probably why I have a slower pace than a lot of people out here. How I approached my employer, about 2 years out, I went to talk to my director. And I guess, I didn't know this, but I guess he's from the Lone Pine Bishop area or spent some time there in his life. So he knew all about the trail, which was cool. I didn't have to explain it. He thought he knew what I was talking about. And he said, you know what, come to me about a year out or closer to the date and we'll talk about details and everything. So I did that. And what was explained to me was you have to go through all your vacation time first before you're granted a leave. So I started sitting on my vacation times 2 years ago and just trying not to take them so I can save them up. And then HR was telling us that you have X amount of days for the agreement with the union that you can take and still have your job guaranteed when you come back. If you go over that, they freeze your position, refly it, and you only have their word for it that they're going to hire you back. So you want to make sure to be back underneath that time period. So I saved up a bunch of vacation time, and I'm taking that. I'm in the vacation time mode right now. And then I have so many days of leave after that. That's why I kind of stress a little bit about time, not just the weather window going up into Washington, because I would like to finish it in 1 calendar year. So I can't fall too far behind. But then again, I don't want to get injured either from going out too fast. But thank you for your question, Connie. Kelly Sharp Talent asked, are the cuddle beds keeping you warm at night? Dude, seriously, these things are the best thing ever. I was worried about how they would be on trail because they're fleece, but so are a lot of things. And I'm so warm at night. I don't, I'm sure if they got wet, I wouldn't be, but yeah, they're awesome. I wear them now all the time. I've had them from day one. Kelly, thank you. It was a great idea. Chris Clifton asked, what's my tent and cooking system? Well, I'm not going to pull my tent out. That's kind of overkill. I have a Big Agnes Copper Spur UL1 I like it a lot. I would like to actually try their Tiger Wall, but it's, tents are expensive, and this one's a standalone. Tiger Wall is a semi-standalone tent. What that means is you have to stake it down in order to actually pitch the tent properly. That's the semi-standalone. But this is a one-person tent, and I don't have room to bring in a lot of things. I can't bring my backpack in, and I would like to do that. The Tiger Wall, I can get a UL2. It weighs the same, if not less than what I have. I could fit everything in, but that's okay. This thing is going with me until it completely fails. It's a great tent. My cooking system is this and only this. It is a Jetboil. I want to say this is the Micromo, and it has the windscreen here. It came with, this is a stove, and it's a self-starting, although I do have a lighter just in case. And then this is, of course, you do these little teeny tiny fuel canisters. I've got to look for a fuel canister while I'm here. So that's getting low. A lot of people will go even lighter than this, and I do have one of these because I won it a little raffle from Mike Lawrence, like a BRS. I forgot what it's called, but it's a BRS stove. It's just basically the stove mechanism, and with a little stand that holds like a titanium pot that you could buy, and it's super. It weighs almost nothing. I like the Jetboil because it's just all self-contained, honestly. And I have played with the BRS a little bit. I just don't have a pot for it. But if that ever fails, I'd buy a pot and then just go with the BRS stove. So that's what I have, Chris. Sandy Giannini, how long are you going to be hiking? Where did you start and where are you finishing? This trail generally takes people between 4 and 6 months on average. I originally thought it was going to take a little over 5, but at my current pace, I'm going to be pushing 6, so I've got to step it up a little bit. The start of it is at the southern terminus. It's right at the border of Mexico and California. It's about a mile south of Campo, California. You might want to Google that one. It's a very small community. And goes all the way through California, Oregon, Washington to the border of Canada, close to Manning Park in British Columbia. Yeah. It's a the official mileage is 2,652 miles, because it winds. It doesn't go straight up, it just winds, so it adds a lot of mileage doing that. Susan Basich, how many post office or postal drops are you doing along the trail? Did you preemptively mail supplies for the whole trip? Do you have a solar panel? That's a separate question. Okay, so mail supplies, I'm doing a hybrid method. I am mailing some along the way, to the post offices, to the drops that the cities that they go through or the towns that they go through really don't have a good resupply. I believe the count was like 18 boxes for the whole trip. So I'm kind of buying where I can, and then I'm shipping stuff just to mix it up a little bit. And then she asked, do you have a solar charger for your phone? I used to. I had a full-on Goal Zero that weighed 1 pound, and I wouldn't charge the phone. I would charge a power bank. But for the sake of weight, I went down to a power pack that actually had a solar panel on it. And knowing that solar panel was really weak, but at least it would top it off. I would still plug it in when I got to town or a place where I can plug in and recharge the power bank. But that thing pooped out on me the night before last. I was alternating what I was charging from, and it was that one's turn. I plugged my phone in and my Garmin InReach communicator, and nothing. I'm like, this isn't dead. This thing has a full charge or very close to it. So I flicked on, because this has a flashlight function on it. Nothing. And I came back over here, and I'm like going, this thing is junk. And it's cheap knockoff of something, so I just threw it in the trash. Oh, look, 8 ounces lighter right there. What I usually use was a 10,000 milliamp bank with a solar panel gone. I have a 13,000 milliamp Anchor bank that I use. And at home I have a 10,000 milliamp one also. So when I get home, I'm going to add it to this because I like redundancy, because if this goes out and it's my last thing, I'm kind of up a creek. So yeah, I need to get that when I get home. So no more solar charger. Sad, but true. Mike Trash asked, do you have any wildlife sightings? Not in the sense I think you're asking for. I've seen those 2 snakes first day, which was crazy. Lots of rabbits, lots of squirrels, birds. You hear coyotes in the distance a lot at night. And I think I heard wolves actually a couple of nights ago. That was a different kind of a howl. I don't think those are coyotes. That's kind of interesting. But no sightings, not yet. Shelley LaPointe asked, how am I editing? Do I find it difficult to fit in my daily timeline? I'm editing everything on my phone. I have an Android phone, so I use KindMaster, that app. I bought it. I didn't buy it. I got it way early so I can learn how to play with it, so I could be faster. And I don't use all the bells and whistles on it, but I use a lot of the stuff. Then I bought the full app like a few months ago. It's not difficult. I try when I crawl in my tent. I try to edit like a day's video and export it. This way, it's ready for an upload when I get a signal. But actually, this is more time consuming, so I'm keeping a written journal. This one takes longer. This doesn't take too long. How many batteries a day do I keep everything charged up for? I don't use batteries. I use about power banks like I talked about. This one I believe can charge my phone, I want to say 4 times, something like that. But I also have other things I'm charging off of this. The Garmin InReach Explorer and my headlamp. Because even the head torch doesn't have batteries. Batteries are just more weight. So this, I did have 2. We'll charge all those things up. And I don't let the phone get too low. But again, I'm going to go get some more. There's an anchor that weighs like a ton. It's a 20,000 milliamp one, but I already have the 10,000. So I'll just add that when I get home. But these things are awesome. Heavy, but awesome. Who's next? April Casada Huber. Where do I get water from? Anywhere along the way. It's been a majority of, because we've had a wet winter, there's been streams that are still flowing, which is unusual for this time of year. And there's troughs that are really nasty, but usually there's a spigot somewhere where the decent water comes out, but you filter everything. You have to filter everything. In town is different. You can get it anywhere in town. But I have a, I don't have that out. I should have brought that out. But I have like a bag. I have a knock bladder that I scoop the water up with. And I use that for my dirty water. And then I put a filter on it, a Sawyer filter, and I sit there and I squeeze into the bottles. And then I have, so many liters of water on me, and then I just drink it on the way. It's time consuming, but you have to with water. And it's basically, you plan your hiking day from water source to water source to water source, and then you camp whenever you can, but hopefully have enough water. How many miles do you hike in a day? It varies because of the terrain and your fitness level. My shortest day was 6 miles, I want to say, and my longest day has been 14. Total for the trip, again, it's 2,652 roughly miles for the trip. How do you charge your phone? We answered that in the last questions. All right, next question, or next person. Mary Lou Suter. What characteristics determine a good campsite? My favorite campsites are flat. They're not always flat. There's been a couple of nights where I've slept on a slant, either this way or this way, and you slide during the night, which is bad because when you're up against the tent, that's the cold spot. You want to be in the middle. So preferably flat, free of debris that can poke holes in the bottom of your ground sheet in your tent and your sleeping pad. Not rocky. Gosh, what else? Has a good view, but yet you're sheltered from the wind, that sort of thing. She also asked, what do you do to avoid bugs? If I see an anthill where I want to pitch a tent, I generally don't, unless I'm exhausted and I don't care. But in fact, there was one tent site I had set up and I saw fire ants. I'm like, oh no, but they didn't bother me, thank goodness. It got too cold at night. I think they just went underground. You don't. The bugs are there. They haven't really messed with me much. There's a lot of mosquito hawks out right now. Well, once you get in the tent, you can zip up the net, and then it keeps everything out. But yeah, you're in here. You're basically sleeping in the dirt, so you got to deal with the bugs. But I keep things zipped up. I keep my shoes inside. I do have enough room for that because I know, especially in the desert, there's creepy crawlies like scorpions and spiders that'll crawl into the shoe, and because so those come inside with me. What does the night sky look like? I usually pitch my fly for privacy, so I don't see it when I'm laying there. Plus, I have my glasses off, and anyways, I can't see anything. When I get out in the middle of the night, sometimes to answer the call of nature, you can see the night sky. I haven't seen any spectacular night skies yet because it's been partly cloudy, or it's just nothing like I will, because I've seen pictures of people doing people took sorry, I've seen pictures that it's fantastic, but no, I haven't seen any spectacular night skies yet. What do I plan on doing if it rains? I have a rain flag for my tent, so that goes up. So when I'm sleeping or I'm in camp, I'll just be in shelter. I'm hiking. That's another story. I've got a lot of my stuff is in dry sacks that are stored inside my backpack, and then I also have a backpack cover that will keep it dry. Excuse me. I also have, this is a wind shell, a rain shell, so this would go over me. Leg-wise, I don't have rain pants. I'm gonna ship those to Kennedy Meadows when I start going to the Sierra. So leg-wise, I don't really have anything, but at least this will keep me dry for the most part. And then when I get to camp, I'll switch out of my pants into these cuddlers that be nice and warm. How much weight is your pack? I apologize, I have a runny nose. My base weight was about 17 pounds. Now with ditching that, those 8 ounces now, it's more like 16 and a half pounds. That's without food and water. When you add food, think about 1.5 pounds a day-ish. So let's say 3 days of food. Yeah, 3 days of food is 4.5 pounds. So let's say 17 pounds plus 4.5 pounds. You asked me to do math. Oh my gosh, that's 21 pounds. And then water, I usually carry, after those first couple of days, I carry about 4.5 liters. So that's 10 pounds of water roughly. So that's 31 pounds total that I'm schlepping. Now it doesn't feel, I do feel it when I have a full load of water, but it doesn't feel as bad as my book bag at work because I've got the hip belts, which distributes the weight down towards your hip. Then I do have the shoulder straps, so you take some weight up there, but it balances it so you can carry more. It can be heavy. It can be heavy. I'll say that, but you can tell when you're close to a town because you've eaten through almost all your food, so that weight's gone. It makes you move a little bit faster. Good questions, Mary Lou. Next question is from Nora Lee from Ireland. She's like, is it possible to just resupply as you go? In most places, yes, not all places. What I would recommend if you are going to do this is, if you can, Scout and Frodo's only going to host one more year after this, is find a place wherever you start in the trail or someone who can help you pack resupplies for certain locations and mail them out for you. Because I know there's some places, especially in Washington, you need to get resupply. Kennedy Meadows, you need to ship something. But I'd say for the most part, you can resupply. I would pick up Yogi's book, the one she publishes every year or two, and it breaks down if a certain stops have good resupply locations, and that will really help your planning. Is the trail easy to follow? For the most part, yeah, it's pretty well marked. There are a couple of junctures that you'll be going like, which way do I go? Because it's not marked for some reason. That's when, that's when I pull out like either a map or my phone and I'll look at Gut Hooks, the app, and then I'll know which way I'm going. Because some people will miss turns and then you have to backtrack like at half a mile, and nobody wants to do extra miles. You're too tired for that. How much does it cost? That's different per person. With me, because when I go into town, I seem to try to get a hotel room. It's going to cost me more. I'm taking advantage of that because I know further down the line there's not going to be any available, and you still have to camp. So if you camp for the most part, instead of go for the hotel room, and you don't go in, where I'm going to save money is a lot of people go in, they go into town and they drink beer and they drink and party. I maybe would do like a margarita. I'm not a big beer drinker. I'm not going to spend a ton of money on drinks in town. But where I lose money is I like to stay in rooms so I can get washed up and cleaned up and recuperate. I don't have dirt in my nails. I love this. It's so nice to see cleanliness for once. So everyone's going to be different, honestly. And keep in mind to keep a budget for like gear failure. Just, you might have to replace something. Duran Fuller Owen asked, do you feel safe, especially at night? Actually, I do. I feel safer on the trail sometimes than I am in towns. Although the towns we've been in so far have been really nice and they're not sketchy at all. Yesterday, Mom, if you're watching this, you might not want to listen to this part. So Julian is the closest town to the trail at this point. And it's like 13 or 14 miles west of the trail. You don't hike that. You hitchhike that. So yesterday, I hitchhiked. And it's easier for a woman to get a ride because you're a woman. You don't look as threatening, I guess. And I was out there alone because there was one guy ahead of me, but he must have already gotten a ride. He was gone. And nobody else was ready to leave Scissors Crossings. So I was up there. And on the way to the area, I'm like, you know what? I do have a little knife on me, but I'm like, let me just I took it out of my backpack and I just put it in my front pocket, just in case. Women should be aware, So I didn't even stick my thumb out. I just crossed the street, saw a car coming, and I started to turn around. I thought, should I put my thumb up? And the person immediately just started to slow down and park. I'm like, what? It was I believe her name was Debbie. She looks like she was in her 60s, maybe close to 70. She was coming back from a trip by the Salton Sea and coming back home to Julian. And she goes, where are you going, Julian? I'm like, absolutely, yes, I am. She goes, would you like a ride? I'm like, yes, I would, thank you. So threw my pack in the back seat and my poles and got a ride with her. That's a long drive too. She was a nice, sweetest pie lady, and usually from my first hike, I did not want to go alone, but I'm like, there's nobody here, and I want to get into town, so I did. I was a little bit sketched out about hitchhiking, I will say that. But no, there's been no weird sounds in the middle of the night yet, so I'm not really freaked out about that. No glowing eyes yet. Sometimes I do camp alone, and sometimes I don't. So not yet. I haven't really felt that fear or anything yet. There was one training hike up in the top of the tram where I did, because I saw glowing eyes in the distance, so it kind of freaked me out for a second. But then the headlamp caught this huge elk in the distance, which was really cool looking. But I digress. Anyways, that's the Q&A for the 0 day, and I hope you guys are having a fantastic time. I'll probably show you a little bit more around town today at the tail end of this, so don't click yet. Just taking pictures of the entryway of this hotel. Some of these are old photos of the actual hotel. Hotel Robinson it was called. And then over here it's called Hotel Julian. Nice. My parents would really dig this. Although they may have been here already. Well, I ran out to get some resupply and visit a couple of stores, and I wanted to show you. But it is raining lightly, windy, super freezing cold, so I couldn't even pull my phone out. Oh well, maybe later on tonight. Current conditions at Julian, California. Brr. I'm at the Julian Cafe and Bakery. for dinner tonight?
No, lo van a enseñar en la cocina de él. Igual yo mañana tampoco no trabajo, pero va a preguntar por Juan. Juan, cuando llegue.
My last dinner in town.
All
right, well, it's my last evening here in Julian. Hopefully I got enough rest. And I was actually chatting somebody up during tea time at the Julian Hotel. And we were asking all about the trail. And they've actually offered me a ride back to the trailhead tomorrow morning after breakfast. So fingers crossed that actually comes through, because then I don't have to try to get a ride to the trail. Anyways, you guys have a great evening, and I will see you back on the trail.